we've been lucky with starter sets this year, but today we're looking at the Stranger Things box set. I just ordered it on D&D Beyond and it came super early. There will not be any spoilers for exactly what's in the modules, although I do DM guides on this channel. We're going to be doing a breakdown of the game later. So it's another heavy box, which is a really good thing. We get a picture of the cast in a very flimsy kind of postcard. Just a nice extra touch. And then a typical read me first quick start guide explaining it's got tokens, character sheets, monsters. There's a quick start video QR code, which is a new kind of thing going forward and really needed. Just very useful. Yeah, being a character, being the dungeon master, swapping the roles, which is very much a new push they're doing. I really like the old style again. This vintage D&D look. So the player guide sort of gives away the fact that we've got item cards and spell cards, character sheets, and just a breakdown of the game, as you can get for free online, but these, have tailored layouts for this set, and it is quite niche in that not everybody is going to want a Stranger Things version, but you can totally understand why they've gone for the marketing, and it does appease us old schoolers who remember the basic box. So here we have level 1, the Vanishing Gnome module, as it were, and then level 2 is a different book, and level 3 is a different book. Still level 3, and there we go. So it goes up to 3, but within each book, which is very flimsy, let's see how many pages, 11 pages. Naturally, it has any maps like any normal module printed in there, broken down into rooms, and then I believe we get the maps later on. So, they could have done this in one big book, but it's kind of nice that it's split up so much. And then some quite old looking art as well, because obviously Stranger Things is set in like the 80s kind of way. Some handouts, a handout in Infernal seemingly, and then written in English on the other side. Missing, certificate, and a lot of character sheets here. Duplicates though, 3 of Lady Applejack. So realistically we've got 1 character, 2 characters, 3, 4, 5. Quite small writing for somebody of my age. And then the maps, which feel really nice. They've got a very nice matte satin sort of a finish. I'll show them like this. And like this. So they're not dry erase, and with much repeated use they will start to tear, but how often are you going to run the starter set realistically? Or you could get them laminated if you are going to overdo it. So yeah, try not to give you spoilers too much. Then you get a poster / map of the region, which you'll see hanging up in the back of my backgrounds a lot. Tokens in black and white. I would not like them in black and white. They just look smudges to me. But the art is terrific when you actually get up close. Again, the characters come out with these semicircular pop-up sticks, which seems to be same as the old starter set. Now this is my favourite part of this set. This DM screen, I think, is going to be my standard going forward for a long while. You have your conditions, taking up a full panel, which a lot of us complain about, but it's a starter set, it's needed. Actions, improvising damage, concentration, death saves, cover, skills. Nothing beyond what's the norm, and a nice map for the DM reference. This just needs adding to the Heroes of the Borderlands setting, and it's a much better box. Combat trackers, absolutely useless for me. It's just not how I track combat turns. I'm much more of a player over the top of the DM screen kind of thing. These are the cards, Aid, Bless, Burning Hands. Oh, they have a nice little cone on. So they show the area of effect. Look, Druidcraft for example. Druidcraft, cantrip, range 30 feet, you create a minor magical effect. This writing's even really small. Even with my glasses, mind you, it's quite low light in here. Invisibility. And then the other sides is much clearer. At least from where I'm sat. Yeah. Useful. Here are the item cards. So adamantine armour, breastplate, armour medium, and then down here is a little box, armour class 14, dex max of 2, and then a clear look at what it is there. Again, a font on the front that I struggle to read, and there's not a ton, but no, Wand of Secrets if you're giving out that. That's cool, I suppose. Not necessary to the game. Dice, you know, dice are dice, but always exciting to get for some reason. And then finally this pack. The new On Your Turns for new players. And you forget the paralysis that players have when it's new to them. And, well, what can I do? Do I just have to look at my character sheet to see what I can do? In a sense, but not ultimately. Explains it. Nice coloured monster cards. There must be some reason they're different shades. But, yeah. That's pretty cool. Nice and clear stats. But I bought all the flipping monster cards before. You know, I even bought Volo's monster cards. I'm a sucker for this sort of thing. These were just much nicer. However, you know, are these outdated now? I certainly still use them. But as a dungeon master, like my distance into the game here, where you've got a lot of these things, what's useful for us? Dice, tick. Item cards are nice, but not required really, generally speaking, online or theatre of the mind. Spell cards, yeah, for new players as a stabiliser. Monster cards for the DM to stick on a DM screen, absolutely, great. Tick, that's 2 good ticks. Combat tracker, waste of paper. DMs will argue whether these are good or not, so I'm going to say that's a tick. For me personally, I'm not a fan of those. I prefer minis. DM screen, massive tick for me. I'm a sucker for a DM screen, but you've likely got one if you are a DM. So maps of any kind, good. We like that. Character sheets are just by the by now. They're so easy to find. Handouts, big tick. The campaign itself, I don't know, I've not read it. There will be my usual DM series to this, tackling beginners and also upgrading with all sorts of different things I pull and suggest for you. Play guide is nice for newbies, but if you're already into it, no real deal. Random photo, this is for Stranger Things fans. What's it going to be like for getting Stranger Things fans into D&D? Big tick. Very good. I think it's very strong. But you'd agree with me that this is quite niche. So why didn't this have a Dungeon Master screen? Why have I got to pull it out of here? Why did my Essentials kit come with a D&D screen? Why did Planescape come with a D&D screen? Why did Spelljammer have a D&D screen and not these new starter sets? Tales of the Valiant did not come with a D&D screen, but did come with miniatures, which was, I thought, a very nice touch. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the DM guide.